Now back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790. Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency, Gaston's White River Resort, and Barton Power Sports.
Okay, welcome back as we close out today's.
It's been a fun show.
It's always a fun show when we all get
show.
together here on Open Mic Saturday and try to keep Gene Smith awake. I know it's hard sometimes, but he's on so much. Then I'm on medication, Gene's on medication, and then Dave is just.
Yeah, I got a 54 anniversary this month.
That's amazing.
February the 10th.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Bless your heart. Poor
Vicky.
Bless
her
Vicky's
heart.
Hey, you know, one of my favorite events is getting ready to kick off Monday at Ames Plantation, and I just hope you folks out there, if you've never been to the National Bird Dog Championships out at Ames Plantation, take a time. If you don't ride a horse, you can still drive out there and sit along the roads and watch the dogs compete and come through. 117 years, 101 years at Ames Plantation. And we got a guy on the line with us right now. It's a good friend of Outdoors, Larry Ray. And, you know, I've got the entry list here. I'm not supposed to be partial to anybody, but, you know, when a dog's named Whippoorwill Photo Op, you know, I like that name, you know. And so this is our good friend Ken Blackman out of Williston, Tennessee. Good morning, Ken.
Good morning, guys.
Hey, buddy. Are you getting butterflies? Are you getting ready?
Never thought at 66 years old I'd be so excited.
Yes. And tell them why you're excited.
Well, a gift from Dr. Huffman 4 years ago produced a little puppy, and she turned out to be a real contender. She's just turned 4 years old, and it was, you know, everybody said, well, geez, you know, you've been into dogs for a long time.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, well, I have. I guess I got the smarts to realize that I know what I don't know.
Yeah.
And that's why after she was placed in her first field trial at 8 months old.
Wow.
And after that, I said, you know, this is way more dog for me.
Yeah.
So I took her back to Larry Huffman, which is Doc's son.
Uh-huh.
And he started messing with dogs, 15, 16 years old.
I can still see. Yeah.
Oh, he's one of the best. Plus, he's got 5. This is his most he's ever had entered in the national championship.
Well, he's got a lot. He's got a lot of relatives in this thing too. As I've talking to Larry Huffman, and again we're talking to Ken Blackman out of Williston, Tennessee, and also who is his kennels, and he's been involved in dogs. And I want you to pick up a copy of the Commercial Appeal tomorrow. I don't usually plug my story, but it's an interesting story about Ken and his background and how he got to be where he's doing and having this dog in the national championship field. One of over almost 50 dogs probably going to compete, and the connection with Whippoorwill Farms and Dr. Jack Huffman, and then Larry Huffman and Piper. Piper was sending me all these different kind of things. How many Whippoorwill relatives there are that's going to run this thing? It's like a reunion. You know, I mean, we got grandfather, we got all these different kinds. And then all of a sudden, here pops up this little beautiful dog that they call Jill. And she's in the field. And tonight at Bryan Hall at 7 o'clock, they'll start putting those ping pong balls out. And Ken Blackman will be there. And what's going to go through your mind as you wait for that brace drawing, Ken?
Well, actually, I've been looking at the weather.
Yeah,
and,
everybody does. Yeah.
If there's one thing that, all these dogs are good dogs. They've won a lot, some a lot more than others because they're older. But the one critical factor is weather.
Yes.
So whatever day she gets pulled out of the bird cage with a little number on it, will really mean, when you think about it, when you go hunting.
Yeah.
If you remember going quail hunting, you wouldn't go out in the worst weather. You wouldn't go out when it was 80 degrees. You try to pick a day that was maybe 50, little clouds, maybe possibly a falling barometer, and sort of high humidity to help you get some of that smell off the ground. So those are the kind of things you look for. So my thing when I'm sitting in that gallery my wife probably got my knee and just sort of holding on to it real tight. But, and then, but we done everything that we can do to get her to this point.
Yeah.
And good Lord and Mother Nature's going to have a little thing called weather, and that's really just going to deter it. And when you think about over the years, the dogs that have really done well and had a lot of bird work and stuff like that, it's a factor that you just can't play. And you got 2 weeks to go, and there's 47 dogs this year, by the way.
Okay.
That they're going to pull out of a hat.
Yeah.
Last year there was 48, and I really can't say enough about Dr. Carlisle and his staff. They have really pulled up their britches, and Dr. Houston and Jamie Evans and everybody out at Ames to get to the point where you hope that they'll have enough quail out there to be able to put on a decent trial, and they've done it. I mean, unfortunately, I don't think we're going to get back to the point of having those huge coveys that you used to have finding wild quail, but they've got a point where they put out a really good bunch of birds, and they do the courses right, and they feed them right, and everything comes together, and there's a lot of birds available for the dogs to point.
And again, we're talking to Ken Blackman out of Williston, Tennessee, and his dog, Whippoorwill Photo Op, which is known as Jill, will be among the 47 dogs competing in the national championship beginning Monday. They'll draw tonight at Bryan Hall. The braces will start Monday morning, 8 o'clock, and then about 1 o'clock in the afternoon course. And as he said, weather is a key factor. I know last year they lost 7 days to icy conditions, but we also know that Miller's dialing in. Gary Lester's dog is back, the defending champion. But I just think the story here is and bless his heart, Rick Carlisle's judging again. Now, they told him he'd only do it 2 years, and here he is for a third year. And I told him, I hope you get it right, But this Whippoorwill Farm, folks, we have this is the Super Bowl of field trials. We are in the cradle of the field trials. You can go within an hour of Memphis and find all these wonderful facilities and everything. But what Dr. Huffman and Larry, his son, and all like that, this is just amazing. How many? Almost 10 dogs, I'm thinking, with lineage to Whippoorwill Farms. And so that's almost a 1 in 4 chance to win, okay? I mean, let's put it in that. So what would it mean to Ken Blackman for your dog to win the national championship?
Well, it's really not a monetary thing. I mean,
no, it's not. No.
I've run my own dogs. I've had Brittany's. I've had good labs, and I, thank God I still have my ability to get up on a horse and ride around a little bit. But it's a lot of prestige. I mean, but I must tell you, as soon as Jill had qualified for the national championship, was back in December.
Yeah.
I started getting emails and some phone calls from guys who had really good stud dogs and offering their services. So that's
what
that's
happens,
interesting,
right?
kind of a twist on fate.
Yeah, that's what happens when they that little stud fee goes up. These kind of things happen. We have to admit that there is because the prize is more of a. I mean, you're not going to win $600,000 like you do going around a racetrack, or you're not going to win the Super Bowl, which is it's really strange because the Super Bowl is the Sunday before this thing starts. Mm-hmm. And yet these are 47 athletes that will be competing in this thing for 3 hours. Y'all get that? 3 hours. They don't have halftime. There's no quarter break in here. This is a grueling event, right, Ken?
Yeah, it puts a dog that has the mental and physical toughness to be able to do that. And sometimes, there's been dogs. Joe's grandfather, I guess it was Whippoorwill Wild again.
Yes.
The year before he won it, ran and was beaten by a dog by the name of Fred DeLeo had Funseeker Rebel, and that particular year, Jack, Jill's sire or grandfather, ran around the last hour, and his tail was encased in ice. And you know, for a dog not to just literally shut down because the body is, it's sort of like the Navy SEALs, you know. You know, they just don't know how to quit. And so again, weather plays a big factor in it. And last year, Gary Lester with Dialing In finished the last half hour of his 3 hours in a raging snowstorm. So
it's amazing. It's just amazing. We got to get out of here. Ken, thank you, buddy. Congratulations.
Hope to see you out there.
I hope to see you. And I wouldn't mind seeing you on the steps of Ames Manor too. Okay, you know that would be nice. But Ken's been on this show, one of our good friends, and go get him, buddy. We'll stay in touch. Okay.
Thanks, Gene. See you later, buddy.
Yeah, take care.
All right. Well, one of the real nice guys there is Ken
Yes,
Blackman,
he is.
and have this dog. And if I got it all straight in the paper tomorrow, it'll be a wonder. I mean, there's dogs that are granddaddies and granddaughters and all these things. What a life.
The names on these dogs. Anybody that's not completely familiar with it, just go to amesplantation.org, and they have the listing of the dogs that are in. These names are just outstanding.
These names
I love
are
it.
great. And of course, they don't call them by that. You know, when you see photo op, you don't say, here, photo op. You know, it's Jill. Come on, Jill. Do that. Let me tell you about next week's show real quick before we get out of here. And we've got so many things going on. Ron Wong will be back in studio. And again, we want to express our condolences to Ron and the loss of his mom. This past week, a wonderful funeral I had a chance to go to, my wife and I. So Ron will be back in the studio. We're going to give you a real preview of the 52nd Annual Mid-South Sports and Boat Show, February 19th and 21st at Agri Center. We're going to talk about a new bug repellent.
I want to
get that to Gene Smith. It's called Lethal Scent Elimination, and you need some of that.
That might be a bird dog game.
It might be. All right. Got to get out of here. Greg Ratliff, thanks for taking care of us. Gene Smith.
Yes, sir. Enjoyed it.
Thank you. Dave Gabbert. Thank you.
Yes.
And as I leave you with this thought, it doesn't cost an extra cent to be a good sport. And what else?
God bless the USA.
You can find